So, we're going to start from the beginning. The Hoover Dam just exploded, or had an explosion, and Spirit says this marks off phase 2 of the water wars that I talked about on New Year's Day predictions. Farmers are protesting against the government globally. The United Nations and the central bank warns the world. What did they warn the world about? Well, we're going to talk about that today. A great collapse is coming, and a rise up of people against their governments has begun, and farmers are fighting back to take their power back, finally. And as we will soon all be forced to fight to take back our own individual power, once and for all, finally. Today's topics are going to include the Hoover Dam, of course, the awakening and rising up of people taking place globally right now, what the future has in store for us, and a whole lot more on this 24th edition of Tuesday's Tittel Teatime Predictions Update. Still bad. I don't know why it's bad. That's so bizarre. Hold on, I'm going to check this out. It's going to go blank for a second. It's going to go blank for a second. Now, how's it sound? That is so bizarre. No go. I don't get it. I've tried 2 internets. Oh, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna do it and hope for the best. You can always turn on your closed captions after this airs. It takes a few hours afterwards. So again, today's topics, I already told you, are going to include all the above, but always remember, my dear beautiful friends, that you are in charge of your own fate and your own destiny. Your thoughts and your words are the blueprints to your future. Predictions can shift and change, although prophecy does not. Therefore, putting this information and predictions out to y'all is not to strike up fear, but instead it is to help you strike up courage. Strong courage, so together we can fight the darkness and its agenda with love and light from our hearts and from our soul. Amen. Once again, I welcome you back to my channel and welcome you to my channel if you are new here. And if you are, hopefully you like the content. It's usually not a connection that's so challenging today, but it does look like it's going to rain, and there is a fire in Sedona not far from here. So I'm hoping it does rain, but that could be affecting the connection in some form or another. But let me tell you a little bit about the energies the past week. Since last week's show on the 12th, we had this astrological alignment come into play. The full moon right before that. And it's interesting because prior to last week's show, the energy was like people were very ungrounded and all over the place and maybe getting a lot done, but just opposite of what it went into the past weekend, actually, where it's actually more of a scattered but not wanting to do anything, kind of hard to focus, that's the word. People may be experiencing a lot of depression the past weekend. Emotions, especially depression. That's why you got to unplug from things that may make you depressed. Thank you, Margaret, for becoming a gold member supporter. You can be a supporter too, as well. Join the community down below as a monthly supporter, or just be a part of the tribe and hit that subscribe. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like button as well, because when you hit that like button, it tells the algorithms what you want and what you want to see. So even if they put us in the shadow, hopefully you can still see it. Remember, I am here every Tuesday, approximately 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern time for Tuesday's Tittel Teatime. So you'll always know you will find me here. I only post it literally right before we go live. Keep an eye, set your notifications, check your cellular devices, all that and all the above. So, moving right along. So these energies that we've been experiencing, what do you do about it? You know, like the previous week, before the 12th, it was like having to constantly stop and ground your energy. And even though, like, grounding helps us when we're all over the place and scattered, but even in the past weekend's energy of losing focus and such, meditation, grounding your energy is always going to assist you in some form or another, whatever's going on in the world at the time. So, yes, we know. Volume is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I tried 3 times. So nothing I could do. Put on your closed captions or I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, let us begin with today's big story, the Hoover Dam. and the explosion that happened there and occurred there. As you know, there has been an explosion that many of you have instantly recalled my predictions when you heard about this morning, and past predictions. Although Spirit showed me quite some time ago, the Army of Darkness has in their plan book a future plan to potentially take out the Hoover Dam in a terror-type-like event. So, thankfully, that is not what happened today. And thankfully and hopefully, that agenda gets flooded out. We can do that. Now I'm going to tell you how. So their plan to potentially take out that, as I said and predicted in the past, thankfully that's not what happened. It was actually a transformer that blew and that exploded immediately. When I heard about this, I looked at the date, actually. I looked at today's date and knew that I doubted very much that it had anything to do with their evil plan based on today's date. And then I looked at the actual news story and I'm like, yeah, that makes more sense. So it doesn't completely align with my prediction of that being taken out. Thankfully, I don't want that to see. I'd rather my predictions don't come into fruition in many of the cases. So, okay, everybody knows they're static. Everybody knows. They all said it in the chat room. There's nothing I can do about it. I tried two different internets. Only thing I could do is end it and come back tomorrow. But doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. The price you pay to live in the canyon. And I have the best internet there is. So if anybody knows about Starlink, I'd like to know how that works as far as going live. Otherwise, I would go for that. So let's move on. I lost my spot. So Spirit did tell me today that dam incident was symbolic in marking off a point in my previous predicted water wars that I talked about on New Year's Day. Even though this incident did not affect the power grid, so they like us to believe anyway, many other incidents are going to come inside and around the Hoover Dam. Its infrastructure is collapsing from the inside, and soon it will fall and be washed away by the waters, either from natural erosion, but likely much sooner, according to Spirit, than we would even think or want for it to happen. They're not fixing it. They're not fixing the infrastructure of the Hoover Dam, according to Spirit. They're not working on it at all. And there's a reason they're only maintaining it to keep it running. They're not going to put the money into something that they don't have a plan to keep around very much longer as part of their evil agenda. So here's the thing. Together, we can hold that dam, and all those who rely on the water and the food and all that from the dam, we can rely on send light and love to all those and togetherness, and we can shift things. That's the thing about predictions. We can shift things in a different direction when we're willing to shift things in a different direction and help the world shift in a different direction. We also must keep an eye out on the waters, according to Spirit, as I stated in my past live stream, to see exactly what Spirit means by phase 2 of the water wars. If you remember, I said that there would be water disappear real fast out of these lakes and so forth. So if everybody keeps typing the same thing, you can't hear me, I'm just going to end it and come back tomorrow. Because that's all I see in the chat. And we all know that by now. But CR user can hear me fine because you just responded. Okay, I'll just move on. So lastly, the fire at the dam today was on the Arizona side of the dam. We can take this symbolically that Arizona will be the first side to suffer from lack of water and, of course, the power grid. Perhaps keeping Arizona in the dark while utilizing it as an excuse to power the other half, or the other side of the state lines, only leaving their half running and letting the Arizona half go dry. So something to keep an eye on, something for us all to look at. Several years ago, and again in my January 1st annual predictions, I told you that people would awaken and rise up against their governments and against the warriors of darkness, or the Illuminati, or whatever you want to call those dirt balls. The awakening, rising up of people against their governments has begun. And I don't know if you see this. I don't watch TV or news and all that, so I don't know if they're covering this in the media. I know that I saw some stories on some people post stuff from different countries on YouTube or social media And I don't know how long they're going to last, but this uproar, we already know it's happening in Sri Lanka, but it's happening everywhere, and it's starting to spread out. It is happening, as you know, and will continue to spread rapidly around the world like the plague. Dutch and Swiss farmers protest to arrest Schwab, Gates, and others. Did you know about that? That's one video I saw that somebody posted from another country, because I could barely understand anything the guy was saying in the video, but I got the point, and I had closed captions on, so I could read what he was saying. And he was showing video and pictures, and they are literally protesting to lock up those people, you know, Schwab, Gates, and others that are all part of that little, you know, WEF or whatever they are, the Illuminati. So I thought that was really interesting that the Dutch and Swiss farmers are not only protesting because of, you know, farm and what they can't do anymore, but also because they want to, you know, they're putting out truth. Remember what I told you about truth coming to the surface? I said this back years and years ago, that every year it was going to, you know, accelerate as the light starts to take over the dark, you know. And in order for there to be balance, the truth needs to come out. Oh, wait until September, October, my friends. Oh, wait until September, October. It is going to be a show like you've never seen before. But going back to the poor Dutch and Swiss farmers who are standing in their power, protesting and against what they're doing to the farmers, but also against the cabal people. Sadly, what Spirit showed me today is they are likely going to unleash their police state. You know, because everything became a police state all of a sudden. Our police are like the military now. And begin rounding them up and arresting protesters. So let's hold all those protesters in love and light so that they're okay. And let us move on. Whales. Whales have washed ashore recently in Australia. Now remember, Spirit told us that this was going to begin to occur, and that it would be a warning of sorts that a huge Earth event is soon going to take place. We have to keep our eye out for more occurrences, according to Spirit today, especially around whales specifically. Dolphins too, but especially whales, because as Spirit told me, the whales are the most sensitive of all Earth's creatures to the Earth's magnetic fields. So when they wash up on separate shores, it will point to a place in between where a great quake will occur. So again, Spirit showed me that when whales wash up on opposing shores or separate shores, they just said separate, they didn't say opposing. Spirit did not say opposing, excuse me, not they, but, well, it is they. There's a group of them behind me. But in between where these wash up. And I know one of y'all sent me some information about that. Thank you for the 1111, whoever that may have been. Great number. Anyway, yeah, so one great quake associated with the whales as a warning. Spirit also showed me one great quake is centered in the Pacific Ocean and is likely to bring 3 great waves crashing to the separate shorelines. Again, Spirit showed me a great quake centered in the center of the Pacific. Well, not centered in the Pacific, what Spirit said. I don't know if it's literally the center or centered, but Spirit said centered. Is likely to bring 3 great waves. I would take that as tsunami waves, crashing to separate shorelines, so more than one shoreline, separate places. This could align with my weather predictions if you go back. So Spirit also says another will take place on the edge of the Indian Ocean, very close to where 2 ocean lines meet. Again, Spirit says that there will be another earthquake in the Indian Ocean, very close to the line where 2 oceans meet. I didn't have time to look at a map to see where that could possibly potentially be, but y'all can always do that. And never forget to leave your comments down below. Spirit spoke to me and said several crashes are coming. I'm like, what's that mean? What's crashing? Several crashes are coming, and that's all I heard earlier. Several crashes coming to take place. Economic crashes, plane crashes, mountains crashing down, and the crash of governments. And that's all the details I got. Spirit just kept saying to me today, several crashes are coming. Economic, plane, mountains, and governments. So, as you all know by now, that the food crisis is real. It is happening. It might not be happening where you are. You might not see it in America or Canada or wherever you may be, but it is happening. And we know it's happening. And it has not even gotten close to kicking into full gear according to Spirit. I cannot stress enough, no matter water and an escape plan. Not just solely based on future food shortages, that's just a big part of it. That alone should tell you to be stocked up and prepared. But also, Spirit said many coming weather events. You're going to want to be prepared. The weather, weather events take out your grid where you live or so forth. It's just important to have a plan. Spirit kept telling me to put that out to you all today. Tell everybody that it's very important that they have a plan. The UN warns 107 countries and 1.7 billion people that face economic crisis due to rising food, energy, and tougher financial conditions. And that was from the UN, and we know, a lot of the stuff's manufactured, by the manufacturing company called United Nations. What does this mean, my friends? What does this mean that they said that they put this warning out? 1.7 billion people in 107 countries. Well, they are once again putting things in our faces like they do, because it aligns with their deep, dark agendas, evil agendas, because to scare people, and at the same time to starve millions of people to help with their depopulation agenda, before crashing the system to engage their Great Reset in very sinister software program. So yeah, they're depopulate, put fear out to the people, so that we can engage our Great Reset in order to place our very sinister and evil software program into work. Which software program? Did you know www adds up, and I think it's Hebrew. Hebrew in numerology adds up to 666. I didn't know that. I just found that out, and I looked it up, and that was legit. So everything internet based, and cryptocurrency, all that is internet based. It's all based around the same system. That system is they're going to usher in their mark of the beast. That's their plan. This is part of their plan. But again, just hear me out and listen to what else Spirit had to say about this today. Because they want to crash everything and crash whatever they can, much like China. And China's already initiated their social credit system, as you know, but a whole lot darker than that. Spirit said there's new software programs a whole lot darker than just even what China's doing. I'm like, darker than that? That's pretty dark. Remember, I spoke about their agenda of dividing people, splitting the United States into 3 to 5 separate nations under United Nations rule, and a change of the name, of course, of the United States to something else, probably United Nations something. This includes the merging of USA with Canada. That's part of their agenda. But Spirit shows me in a vision and gave me more info, showing me that a police state coming in under the UN's command and rounding up certain people in their United Nations buses that look more like, to me, I saw these visions today, look like prisoner transport buses is what it looked like to me, locking many up under their quarantine elimination process. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. But Spirit said under their quarantine elimination process. Yes, this is sick or sicker than what happened in World War II, according to Spirit. Spirit said, what did you really think the FEMA camps were for? That's what Spirit said to me today. What do you think the FEMA camps were for? What do you think they were built for? To take care of people? No. To eliminate the warriors of light. The warriors, the angel warriors. Good, the light bearers. The fighters and the resistance. That is what Spirit said today. Again, what did you really think FEMA camps were built for? To take care of people? No. To eliminate the warriors of light and the fighters and the resistance. We will begin to see this occurring on a much smaller scale very soon in smaller countries and possibly likely being Africa. Somehow rounding up. So we'll have to keep our eye out for this, even though they're going to try very hard for you not to know that that's happening. Somehow part of this will come out in the form of video footage, according to Spirit. Footage that the Army of Darkness is going to work very hard on banning, along with a huge ban on anyone who as much as sees this footage. So that'll be interesting. Remember, it makes me think of a prediction I made quite some time ago about another big ban coming, big social media wipeout ban coming, probably around election time, fall season. Makes me think of that when I go over my notes here. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes into fruition. But hopefully it doesn't, actually. But I lost my spot. A huge ban. Yeah, I said that already. Sorry. My connection messed me all up now. This now shall be able to see, soon we will all be able to see the truth very clearly. Mass media outlets, this is very interesting, are about to experience together, a great news event, a huge news event. Except this time, the mass media will actually be the story. So that's a really good one, says Spirit. A leak from inside one of the false prophet news media. I thought that was interesting too. The false prophet news media is what Spirit referred to them as. Causes a downfall of that network. Perhaps corrupt news network. I'm thinking it's probably that one, because I had predictions around the corrupt news network before in the past. You know, CNN, that place. So Egypt's wheat reserves, did you know, won't last them until November. If they're lucky, it'll last them until November. But I do see them running short much sooner than expected. As I said many times throughout this year, September and October are going to be an intense time on the planet and for humanity. We are going to see civil unrest spread like a plague. Civil unrest will certainly hit Egypt very soon. I believe it'll be in September, actually. September is going to ignite a whole new awakening and rise up of people that Spirit showed me today to a whole new level. So you see what's happening now, if you do see what's happening now, with the rise up of Sri Lanka and all these different countries. But Spirit says that awakening come September, October is going to be on a whole new level. Spirit referred to it as being, metaphorically, nuclear. Nuclear. So that'll be really interesting. Civil unrest is going to spread to other places, like our friends in Lebanon, Tunisia, Argentina, and several other countries. That's where it's an igniting. This was predicted, I said this back in 2012, about this occurring. I actually thought it would have occurred before. You know, I thought it was coming soon, to a theater near you. But it took 10 years. 10 years. It's all happening. Exactly all the visions and everything. Madagascar also popped into my mind today. I'm not sure if it's related to the same things I just discussed or some other huge event that's coming to that Paradise Island. El Salvador and Peru are also at risk, while again Africa is at the highest risk of civil unrest and starvation. Ethiopia, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya. So again, friends, say prayers for them, hold them in the light with love. And again, I can't stress to you enough that you need to prepare. You need to have a plan, no matter what. What if a tornado comes through your neighborhood? We are in those times, my friends. And the unprepared are the ones that are going to be the most vulnerable for getting sucked into their new software program, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a moment. Let's move on to money, speaking of that, and more civil unrest. So central banks, I told you in the beginning, also put out a warning to the world. And their warning was to 70 countries who face debt crisis, like Sri Lanka. So the central bank, who controls everything, that is the hub of evil, that, and then their sister, the United Nations, they're like sisters, twin evil sisters. Anyway, putting out that 70 countries are facing debt crisis, basically saying they're not paying us back, and we're letting you know because all hell's going to break loose in those places. That's what the central bank's telling you. The World Bank keeps racking up debt for countries like Lebanon, who actually took out a $150 million loan from the World Bank for food security. That's right, my friends. Argentina. I'm sorry. No, yeah, Lebanon. took out a $150 million loan for food security when they already can't pay for things. Argentina, they folded on their debt 9 times with the World Bank. And they want to refinance a $45 billion loan. They are not going to let them refinance, I guarantee you. The World Bank is also racking up debt for the United States, which certainly can and will not ever be able to pull out of that debt in the current economic system. This also includes Canada as well. At the same time, the elite are moving all of their money and assets. That Spirit showed me that today. And turning money into gold, as they do. I mean, they take all the gold. They're going to come and take ours too if they can. Take your guns, take your gold, like they did in the Great Depression. And you know, because you buy gold, I'm sure anywhere, but in the United States, you buy gold, it's registered. Goes into their little program so they know you have it. But to me, if I have it, good luck finding it, because I'm going to make sure that nobody gets it. You know, I'll be smart about that. But anyway, going back, they are moving their assets and turning their money into gold and a secret cryptocurrency, Spirit showed me. And I'm like, Spirit, can you tell me what that secret is? Spirit says, no, because you can't get access to it. I'm like, well, that's not fair. There's a kind of a loop way to get into it, but not yet. So hopefully I'll get more information and be able to find out more details on that. But they have this secret crypto that you and I don't have the ability to do. Spirit kept showing me USDR and an association with that in the crypto world. I know absolutely nothing about crypto, my friends. Nothing. I only know what I just told you that Spirit told me to bring out here today. I have no idea. I wish I knew. I would have put money into it and made money. I don't know nothing about it. I'd use my intuition and probably do well. But means I don't know nothing about it, I'm not going to even try. Because there's like hundreds of different cryptos. But anyway, going back to their crypto, again, Spirit kept showing me a USDR in association with the crypto world. Their evil plan is to collapse the current system and engage a fully digital system. They will make it, of course, sound wonderful to everybody, especially those that are desperate and weak. That's what they're doing, trying to make people desperate and weak. You know, depriving societies the best they can in evil, dark ways. And those they can't, that's why they built their little camps, you know, little FEMA camps. They're supposed to be there to help people, and that was all built during the Bush administration. Remember that. And continued to be built through the Obama administration. And not just in the United States, my friends. You might want to look into that wherever you live in the world. Especially Europe, they have one too. So I mentioned in past predictions that Spirit showed me within the army of light, you know, the army of angels, there is a plan as well. Darkness might be having plans, but the light has plans as well to stop their agenda and their new system from enslaving us all completely, because that's what their new system is. That's the mark of the beast. They're going to make you have a chip. That's what it's coming down to. Go watch my Mark of the Beast video if you haven't seen that. Did somebody just give me $50? Wow, thank you, web surfer guy. Let's go surfing, bro. Always wanted to try surfing. I'd probably fall, but that's all right. I love the ocean. Boy, do I love the ocean. Mama Ocean. So I lost my spot again. I saw that up on the board. So hackers. So Spirit shows me again, this is their way of enslaving everybody completely. It's their final enslavement. Although I see a system. I gotta mention my Mark of the Beast video again. Go back and watch that, because they put it in the shadows so you can't see it. You have to go to my page. Later tonight, I'll try to remember to put a link here at this point in the video. 29 minutes, so I have to remember that. They are going to engage that. At the same time, very smart light warriors, geniuses, are also hackers. So we can hold in the light that they succeed. And together, we absolutely must resist this new system. Remember that. Resist. No matter how desperate, resist the system. Do not give in to that system. Which I believe is coming maybe as soon as 2023. I mean, because although 2024 makes the most sense to me, because 2024 is an 8 year, and 8 is all revolved around money and finances. That would be the year, because they follow those numbers like religiously. And they would use that 8 to their advantage of making more money while depriving the other half. The other 98%. Did I mess that up? So, looking at numerology again, the 8-year makes more sense, but Spirit showed me the evil ones are getting kind of scared and nervous. People are awakening, and people have awakened, what am I saying? But they continue to awaken. So, therefore, they are pushing their agendas forward quicker and way ahead of their initial timing. As the Spirit said, they're pushing things faster because they're getting nervous, as they should be. Especially like the farmers, Dutch farmers protesting and get them locked up. What a wonderful thing. I bet you they're not showing that on your local news. Anyway, we're going to see major falls in the global stock markets by October, including a small but still significant crash. Cryptocurrencies will fall as well. I told you all, stay away from that for many times, including Bitcoin. Soon after, a nice increase in Bitcoin looks promising to many, but ends up disappointing in the end. Remember that. Again, I'll repeat that because I want to hear people out there in the world saying, can you say that again? I know you just see, I read your mind from wherever you are in the world. So Bitcoin will have a small increase, a nice increase actually, Spirit said, that looks promising to the Bitcoin people. And it'll end up disappointing in the end. So be careful of that. Near future, so like getting in now and waiting for that little increase could be beneficial. But remember that nice increase is going to fall and disappoint very quickly. Bitcoin is not going to be as promising as you think. I said that in the past. Everybody's like, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong. I said it's going to fall. It's going to drop big time, and it did. Be careful of crypto, my friend. Spirit says in the very near future, we are going to begin to see many cryptocurrencies literally disappear off the market completely. Remember my past predictions where I stated several people would take the money and run. And that happened. Like one of those predictions happened not long after I said it. But it's going to continue. Spirit says that this will also usher in a fall of several currencies in smaller countries. The fall of several currencies in smaller countries. Now, this isn't in my notes, but it comes up China. China's currency is going to shift and change as well. Again, I don't know if it just did, but Spirit said again. Look for that. And they're lying about their markets. Of course they are. They're lying. Their markets, they have a system in place that messes with their market, their stock market, messes with the numbers. They have a very, very, very high-tech, genius level program that totally shows false market numbers. Interesting. That's not my notes. But anyway, I see some type of alcohol ban. You like your alcohol? I do not. Very rarely do I have a cocktail because it just makes me go to sleep, actually. I see some type of alcohol ban. Yes, it will begin to appear like a shortage, but in some countries it will disappear and become a crime like prohibition times. Europe will be hit with this as well. Alcohol will become a very hot commodity, Spirit says, and Spirit said to watch closely once again, but this time pay attention to wineries and producers of alcohol. That's interesting, right? Pay attention to wineries and producers of alcohol because the darkness will hit their crops during the September-October season coming up. So during the September-October shift, excuse me. Wildfires come to an area that is known for its wineries. This will be set on purpose with the intention of bringing great harm to the wine industry, but also for such other dark, evil agendas as well. I believe this was a very interesting vision today. I believe this may be California, but I'm not sure. I didn't get a place. I know California is known for wineries, but I'm sure there's other places. And if not, somewhere abroad, the other place that popped in my mind was Italy. Spirit showed me how they do this using a tiny little drone that would actually pass off in the sky as a bird flying. If you just got a glance, you wouldn't even notice it. And this has advanced technology, including some type of laser that has within it that can reach several hundred feet, actually, according to Spirit. It's a laser that comes from this little tiny drone, the size of a bird, or smaller than a bird, that can go a couple hundred feet in any direction. And this has ignited wildfires in the past, and soon Spirit says they will be caught. I'm guessing that someone will catch this on video in some form or another, but their life, of course, will be in danger if they release that footage. This could occur this month in July, so keep an eye out for that. So, you know, the whole food thing, and I did a video on that. Make sure you go check that out, because it's really important. It's a good video, too. It's really good. It took me a long time to produce. It's another one you might have missed. But all the targeting appears to allegedly be food places being targeted with fires and so forth. Yes, we all know that the volume's low. There's nothing I can do. Turn your thing up, put a headset in. So, this whole little thing, this whole little drone, very fascinating to me. And again, Spirit says that they're going to be targeting the alcohol industry. But the crops of alcohol industry, so like hops, they grow hops for beer. So we'll have to keep an eye on the hops producers. The wineries, of course, the grapes and the grape fields. We have to keep an eye on all these things and see. And then when you see this happening, or if you have any story related to it, please make sure you leave a link and comment down below. Let's talk about weather and the UK heat wave that just occurred. As predicted, I told you that there was going to be, I missed a whole section here. Darn. Let me go back to alcohol. Sorry, I missed this whole section. Recently I predicted an attempt on the Pope's life would occur, which actually did just occur recently. This is not the first, and certainly will not be the last, says Spirit. Someone within the church itself wants to take the Pope down. Spirit does not tell me why or who. When he finally meets his end, when he finally passes away, Spirit shows me that it will actually be from poisoning his drink. Not his food, but his drink. They hope to do this during a mass. So I'm thinking if he drinks wine at the mass, I'm kind of thinking that. Because Spirit said they're like planning and hoping whoever this is to do this during mass. They want him to die during a mass. So that's got to be symbolic in the Satanism or, you know, their dark evil magic. It has to be. So we'll have to pay attention to a mass that's important, like Christmas. I would think it would be something like that. Christmas is probably it, because that just came out of my mouth. It's not in my notes, but it just came out of my mouth, so it probably will be Christmas. I don't know if it'll be successful, but as I predicted in the past, before we even got to this Pope, I said the next Pope that comes in would be the last Pope before the final fall of Catholicism, until it rebuilds again decades later. But, so it'll be interesting. Again, they hope to do this during Mass, and of course, they're going to blame it on his health and say it was just a natural health thing, and you will never find out that he was poisoned. Never. I also hear a gunshot going off at the Vatican Square. I see chaos and people scattering, but I didn't see anything else. All I felt like is that it was some kind of failed attempt, and then somebody being arrested falsely. So that'll be interesting. Let's go back to weather and the big heat wave that just hit the UK. As I told you all about heat waves, go back to my weather videos. But wait until winter, Spirit says. You think that's bad? And I'm not going to talk about winter now. That's ways off. But again, all the more reason to prepare, you know, for things, because winter's going to be intense. And I will do a winter video eventually, probably September. Australia, China, and India just got serious rains, and I said China, I said all three of them actually, especially India, because if you remember, I had very disturbing visions of rains that wash away like whole villages, and I don't know if that occurred, and I hope not, but they were the visions, and now that's happening. Massive rains. A massive volcanic eruption that I spoke about in the past, if you remember, is closing in on us according to Spirit. This may be related to one of the large quakes, as I mentioned as well. So Italy, It's going back to past, but there's some more information on this. Italy has been getting hit hard from every angle. A recent huge avalanche. I spoke about in the past my visions of mountains crumbling. This is not the vision, this is not that vision of what happened in Italy recently with the avalanche, but I did mention in past visions and predictions about mountains crumbling. And I still feel like this is something that's going to become, sadly, a common occurrence. But I mean, I saw a mountain literally crumbling totally down into the ocean. That has to be volcanic related. I could go back to La Palma because I believe La Palma is going to have another occurrence. That La Palma is not done. Spirit says that to me now. La Palma is not done. La Palma is just juicing up. Just juicing up. That's a funny one. Just juicing up. Okay, Spirit says they're just juicing up. Interesting. All right, La Palma. I won't get a time on that, but let me go back to I see a bigger hit coming to Italy. In surrounding areas, this includes Greece, in somewhat near future. First, a rise up of the people, but also great earthquake, or a great quake is what Spirit said. Spirit didn't say earthquake, quake, which I would think is the same. What you doing, dog? So, a great quake, Spirit says, and a great volcanic eruption is likely to occur. Watch, your nails are making noise. Thank you. So a great volcanic eruption is likely to occur in that part of Europe. So we'll see. Lots of volcanic activities coming up in the fall months, September, October, which is the spring months for the southern hemisphere. I mean, a lot. Spirit's showing me like a lot, like a ridiculous amount of things are going to happen with the Earth during that energy shift, September, October, even in November. So again, all the more reason to subscribe down below. I will do another weather video soon. You know, I try to do it at least every 6 weeks. So keep an eye out for that. But Poland popped up in my mind as well. A series of earthquakes will come to Poland. Spirit says to pay close attention to where this series of earthquakes occurs. And it can actually show us where and when the big quake hits. Spirit kept talking about a big quake, big quake, a big quake, the big quake. So again, I would take that as, you know, the next record breaker. I did see a vision today of a city literally shaking violently and bricks and rubble falling from buildings. I cannot say it's related to the above, what I just spoke about, but this could likely be a separate event. The city was not familiar to me in my visions, but it was also rumbling and dusty, like from the fall in that vision. So, but it did remind me of Mexico City. It reminded me of that. So, you know, I'm not saying it's 100% Mexico City, but chances are if it reminded me of that, it probably is. Last few things. Let me pull up this story for you because I forgot. Remember I told you about sky events taking place. And I don't have this in notes, but I'm going to give you information from Spirit now. Remember, pay attention to the skies in all aspects, not just because of UFOs or UVPs or whatever you want to call them, because of a strange activity occurring. I talked about this last week with the orange and the green skies in different states and different places. Spirit said this back a long time ago, probably January or even last year. Keep your eyes to the skies. Pay attention to what's going on above you instead of on the phone all the time, or people look down when they walk. You know, if you go to a city, pay attention to the people. Most of them look down. They don't look up, like straight ahead. They're down or looking at their phones. Spirits that start looking up. Pay attention to what's happening in the skies. Remember, it also says that in the prophecies of Nostradamus, but even more so, even the book of Revelation in the Holy Bible talks about the skies and the activity that's going to occur in the skies. Also, keep in mind what I said last week about their, it was either last week or the previous week, about their technology, that holographic technology. Because not everything in the skies is going to be real when they bring up scary things, or all of a sudden they put a vision of the Divine Mother Mary in the sky to like freak people out, or whatever their agenda is. If I just said Mother Mary in the sky, chances are there's going to be an appearance of the Divine Mother Mary in the near future that's not going to be real. It's going to be part of their holographic stuff. that they can do in all different shades, Spirit tells me. They can make it look like a ghost in the sky, so make it look like a real apparition of Mary, the Divine Mother, or they can make it so solid that you would think it was actually there. And they are still tweaking this technology a bit, it says Spirit. But they got it down pat pretty well and already fooled people. They already fooled people in many ways. So, again, this is all straight from Spirit, what I'm telling you. But an Arizona woman spots an enormous silver disc hovering in the sky. Arizona is a hot spot. Sedona, Arizona is one of the top UFO sightings in the world. Isn't that Sedona, Arizona? This wasn't in Sedona, Arizona, though. I don't know where it was, but it was in Arizona. Now that nearly everyone has digital cameras in their pocket, UFO sightings have become almost a commonplace. That's because the Army of Darkness wanted to become a commonplace. They wanted you to get used to the existence of UFOs, and they wanted you to get used to all that. At the same time, they also scare those who might be scared of it. You know, one of their plans in their plan book was to, hoax a UFO invasion. That plan went away, but it's still in their plan book. They can still do that. So pay attention to the skies. Know that some things, major events that might be fearful, might not be real at all. But pay attention to your clouds, your storms, and everything else. The radar, I always look at the radar, see storms. Always doing that since I was younger, much younger. Watching the radar, I've always been fascinated by it. And I noticed here, storms are coming. I mean, thunder and lightning's right there. And all of a sudden, the storms disappear completely. Gone. And I'm watching the radar and I'm like, that is so bizarre. They just literally disappear off the radar completely. Or sometimes they'll split and then go around, which is really bizarre. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a weatherman. I don't know if that has anything to do with mountains. Not that their mountains are rock buttes, or if it has to do with the energy or the aliens. I don't know. But keep your eyes to the skies. There's so much more coming out when it comes to UFOs and all. And again, come September, October, there's going to be huge stories. And the November ones are going to be really interesting as to what Spirit just said. But sky events, including a huge meteor crashing into a small town or city, blowing out windows. Reminds me of something that happened years ago. I think that was in Russia. I'm pretty sure. So, again, I feel like I might have said this maybe in January predictions, but it came to me again today. Sky events, a huge meteor crashing into a small town or city blows out windows. At the same time, I have a vision coming to me now of one that seems like it's slightly broken apart in some way. Because I feel like almost like little grenades being dropped, like scattered. Like I feel like a scattering of stuff falling from the sky into an area. Not necessarily a major city, but a small area. Near a coastline, actually, near a coastline. This is why I like just sometimes just channeling what Spirit gives me. The only thing is I don't have no notes for that. But channeling with Spirit, so it's a coastline. So I don't know what this is falling out of the sky. I don't know if it's a meteor related or because whatever it is, it falls into big pieces. Maybe a satellite. It's only two things I could think of. Not a plane, because we did talk about in the beginning, Spirit said many crashes are about to occur. And I've already said that in past predictions. Sometimes it takes a while for certain things to come into fruition. Like lately, the past year or two, they come through pretty quick. But I talked about plane crashes. And if it's popping up in my mind again, if y'all have the link where I said that, definitely include that down below. But this feels like it's coming on soon. And one of these planes going down is in a city area, a big city area, like Chicago or New York. It's a small plane, and I don't know why it's going down, but I'm getting that vision now. So, separate thing. Again, Spirit said many crashes are yet to come. And remember, Spirit's also reminded me of arrests, people being arrested. I'm seeing somebody in handcuffs. I don't know who this person is. He looks familiar, but I don't know who he is. Short, chubby guy, dark hair, gray. I don't know if he's associated with Disney, but you can expect arrests to begin happening soon. including shocking things that happen out of Hollywood. I think I said that last week. I think that information came in about Hollywood. Bigger things going to happen there. It's not like everybody getting arrested, like, you know, the conspiracy people say, but it's leading to that. Many people being arrested. It's all in the process of happening. We just don't see it yet, according to the Spirit. But this arrest, this vision of this person being thrown in handcuffs, taken away by a car that looks more like FBI, I don't know who this person is, but he must be somebody big and important, because it looks like they're in a city where this occurs, outside of a building where they get this guy. He looks familiar, but I don't know who the heck it is. Drives me crazy. If I do see this person and I'll be like, oh, that's him, I'll let you know. I'll come right on live and do it right away to let you know. Really important. Did you also hear Australia is beginning to sink? According to Spirit, parts of Australia are beginning to sink. This takes me to the islands outside. And again, some of this could relate to past predictions, but it's coming to me now, all the islands. The big space between New Zealand and Australia, those seas right in there, that ocean, I feel like so much is going on there now that we don't see beneath the ocean. And I believe a lot of it could be, you know, some type of volcanic under the ocean, under the earth activity that's occurring there between Australia and New Zealand. And then there's little islands there. I don't know that, Spirit's showing you that, but there's little islands there, and it's like right off the side of the islands and deep down where the ocean goes ever so deep, according to Spirit. Some of the deepest parts of the ocean is where these activities are happening. And I don't know if it's the deeper the earthquake under the ocean, the more you know, potential for tsunamis, or if it's the opposite, you know, the ones that are up high. I don't know, but the deepest depths of the ocean, Spirit says, between New Zealand and Australia. Islands I see literally going underwater, which I have said before, but now I'm getting more detail of where. And then we can expect massive activity around the Solomon Islands. Oh God, what's the other one? The Isle of Man? I don't have a map in front of me. I could pull one out. But not now, we'll save that for next time. So I'm getting that information, and going back to what I said earlier about the Pacific Ocean Center earthquake and potential waves. I feel like one of the coastlines affected would be between Hawaii and California. Not necessarily major, but enough to hit quite a few homes on the beach. As far as the California one. There's definitely something coming. I don't know if it is associated with that Pacific thing that I brought up earlier today. But Spirit's now clearly showing me a wave hitting the coastline of California, that whole upper part. California, maybe Oregon, mainly California, and part of Hawaii. Hawaii just had a wave hit. I just read that somewhere. I didn't put it in my notes, but I just read that. My notes are gone. I'm done with them. So this must be something different. It doesn't look major. Like what I see is probably what just happened in Hawaii. They had this weird wave that hit. It's kind of like that. I don't feel like this event, what I'm seeing now, is like a huge tsunami, but it is a wave. It definitely can wash away some houses, and hopefully not any people, but potentially can. And why, Spirit? Why do you show me this now? That's the precursor, Spirit says. That's a precursor. Precursor as to what's to follow. And remember, even August, this may actually occur in August, leading up to that energy shift in September. So it'll be interesting a couple weeks when we get into August to see what comes up in predictions and weather and all that. And by then, August, I'll do another weather video and tune in more on that. Maybe perhaps we'll do it live once my connection gets better. I don't know. What is up with that? It doesn't look like it's going to rain, so maybe that's it. Don't know, but that's the whole hotspot agenda. Anyway, my beautiful friends, I see that you have supported me with your love and your light by being here, and for your chat cash, and anybody that did that through PayPal. The links are below. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter by clicking the link below. Open up that newsletter. And what is that? Okay. And thank you, Sandra, for your PayPal donation. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I will be back again soon. Sorry for the whatever happened with weirdness with the phone and with the internet connection. Very odd. I'll go back and I'll delete the one that we ended earlier, and I will be sure to see you all again really soon. I am working on quite a few things all at the same time, and I plan on pumping them all out like I did a couple weeks ago, pumping a bunch of stuff out at once. So it'll be interesting. Lots of interesting things going on. Remember to always, always nurture yourself. Take care of you. Say yes to you. Learn to unplug from that which brings you down and stresses you out. You are entitled, your birthright, to reach a level of joy and happiness and abundance. That is your birthright. Unplug from that doesn't lead you to joy and happiness. Celebrate life. Celebrate you. Be kind to others as you wish others to be kind to you, because we all know mean people suck. Till the next time, my beautiful, beautiful friends, much love and gratitude. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.